Okay, so let's go over bad throwing sessions and how to deal with them. We've all had bad throwing sessions where you pick up a chair, you launch the chair, then you pick up the tape measure, you launch the tape measure, you break the tape measure because it's so cold when you're outside and you just want to throw a shot at your head. Okay, maybe not everybody, but that's definitely how I used to handle bad throwing sessions. But why did I handle bad throwing sessions like that? Is because I thought illogically and I never really sat down and questioned, like, why did I have a bad session? What went on in that session that caused me to not throw as far or move as well as I wanted to move? And I think ultimately that's the biggest thing here, is that we've got to question, one, what is a bad throwing session? Did nothing get accomplished, or did something still get accomplished? Did you not throw far, or did you not move well? And that's where we have to figure out what caused this bad throwing session to happen, even if it was a bad throwing session, because in most cases there's still something productive being done. And the athletes that see the long term and comprehend productiveness are the ones that become the best. So first, again, what is bad? Is it the movement or is it distance? And what tends to happen is oftentimes throwers will see a distance and, the session was really good, but they might have moved like shit. Or their movement is really, really good, but they're not throwing as far and they get really frustrated. So we've got to sit there and analyze, like, what is going on? Was the movement fine? Was the distance far? And which weight, or which holds more weight as far as creating a bad session or a good session? And then what broke down? Why? Okay? So is it the movement that broke down? Because ultimately, 80 to 85% of the time, we should be worried about the movement. Proper technique creates distances. Technique with strength equals big throws. It's a very simple equation. But if we throw technique out the window and the movement out the window, well, why did it break down? Was there something coming out of the back of the circle? Why was your left late getting to the front? Why was your left high in the middle if you're a glider? Were you open? You've got to sit there and analyze what happened, what caused that to break down. Could you not feel it? Is there a lack of control? And again, is there some fatigue? And if we factor in fatigue here, that's the biggest thing moving forward for each thrower, is that, okay, I was tired. I'm very sore today. I'm going to take 3 or 4 days where we just focus on X, Y, Z. That's it. And then base whether or not you had a bad or good practice off of the movement, not off the distance, especially when fatigue is a factor. Unfocused technical work. Okay, so that's like the standard for throwing, is that you go to training and you are not thinking about anything. Every thrower does this. They just waddle out to the training session, and they have no idea what they're working on that day. They have no idea what they're trying to do. They have no idea what they're trying to accomplish. They just want to throw. We just want to get reps in and throw. That's it. But there's no focus. There's no, okay, what are the goals today? What are the 2 or 3 things I want to focus on? What are the cues I'm going to use? And what are the cues I'm going to think about every single throw? And if we have more focused technical work, we will prevent the bad throwing sessions from occurring, because we're going to get more work done. And this goes back to deep work, less distractions in training, and just sitting there and getting things done based off of what you have laid out ahead of time. Okay, so if you prepare just like you should be preparing for a competition, if you go into the session and say, okay, 3 to 4 standing throws, I'm going to work on this. I want to take 6 to 10 full throws to work on X, Y, and Z. See if I can feel it. If I can feel it, I'm going to continue to build. If I don't feel it, I'm going to keep focusing on my cues and just try and feel something technique-wise by the end of the session. And so that has to be the biggest goal, is that you have focused technical work, because that's going to get rid of these bad throwing sessions. And then we have, recovery, using the weight room. So how do you recover? You have a bad throwing session. Your movement was terrible. The distance was terrible. That will be granted as a true bad throwing session. But how can you recover from it? And this is the biggest mistake that I see, is that I'll have athletes that will have a bad throwing session, and then they want to go really heavy in the weight room. And it's like, no, just get reps done. Just use today as a work day. Let's sit here and go, okay, I want to make every single weight during the weightlifting session, and then when I do the special strength movement, I'm going to try and feel what I couldn't feel in the circle. I'm going to try and feel that during the special strength movements. But what ends up happening is the thrower's frustrated. They just want to come in and hit really big weight because they're so pissed off and they want to feel like a little bit of rage and aggression. And then they end up missing, various weights because what's causing it is the fatigue factor. So we have to sit there and think logically and say, how can we use a weight room and special strength to recover positively from a bad throwing session? And it's got to be, treat it as a work day. Go in, get reps done, move properly, be in mobile positions, try and mentally put yourself in the circle and visualize good throws. And that's the best way that you can go about recovering from bad throwing sessions and moving forward from those bad sessions.